Hi, my name is Kevin Yanti Garcia, and today we will discuss about web services and blockchain. And after that, we will give an example application that uses both these two technologies. So first, let's define what is web services first. A web service is a way for two applications or two electronic devices to communicate over a network. So, ang ibig sabihin niya is, halimbawa, we have application 1 and application 2. Ngayon, si application 1, ginawa siya using Java. And then si application 2 is ginawa siya using .NET. So, theoretically speaking, hindi pwedeng or hindi sila magkakaintindihan. It's because they are built using different tech stack or programming language. So, with the use of web services, as long as they satisfy a specific set of rules, magkakaintindihan sila. So, that's the beauty of web services. So, let's give another diagram or example. So, halimbawa, dito. So, on the upper part, this one is an example, and then this one is another example. So, let's proceed with the first example. So, halimbawa, meron tayong dalawang person, si Ram and Arun. So, si Ram, he speaks Tamil, and si Arun, he speaks Telugu. Ngayon, theoretically speaking, or hindi magkakaintindihan sila, si Ram and Arun. It's because they spoke different language. Si Ram, Tamil, and then si Arun, Telugu. So, hindi sila magkakaintindihan. But, if they follow a specific rules or if they satisfy specific rules, they can communicate with each other. So, halimbawa, aside from Tamil and Telugu, they both speak English. So, they have common language na naiintindihan pareho, which is English. And then, they know grammar rules or English grammar rules. Sorry. And last one, they have medium or meron silang way para mag-communicate. Like, marunong silang magsalita ng English, marunong silang magsulat ng English, no? So, if they satisfy these three conditions, they can communicate with each other. Even though kahit yung primary language nila is Tamil or different from each other, which is Tamil and Telugu, as long as they have this rules na masatisfy, they can communicate with each other, no? So, ganun rin yung nangyayari sa technology natin or sa web services. Halimbawa, we have application 1 and application 2. So, si application 1, it was built using Java language. And then si application 2, it was built using C# or .NET language. So, theoretically speaking, same kay Ram and Arun, hindi sila magkakaintindihan. It's because they was built on different tech stack. But if application 1 and application 2 both understand or satisfy specific conditions on web services, pwede silang magkaintindihan. So, halimbawa, if they both understand interoperable formats, or example is XML, JSON, CSV, text file, or any type of text formats. Halimbawa, si application 1 natin nakakaintindi siya ng XML, and then si application 2 natin nakakaintindi rin siya ng XML. And then they have the same protocols, or they both follow the same protocols. Example of protocols is the HTTP, SMTP, and FTP. And then last one, they have medium, or meron silang network, or they have on the same network para makita yung isa't isa and makapag-communicate sa isa't isa. So, if they followed or satisfied these three condition, pwede silang magkaintindihan. Kasi nga, naiintindihan nila yung mga sinasabi ng isa't isa or binibigay ng isa't isa, they follow the same protocols, and they have the same network. So, nakikita nila yung isa't isa. So, ganun nangyayari yung, that's the beauty of web services. Kahit nakabuild sa different platforms or different tech stack yung mga application natin, they can still understand with each other. So, example of this one, or or in web service, we have two actors, provider and consumer. So, based dun sa example natin kanina, halimbawa si .NET, siya yung provider. And then, si Java, siya yung consumer. So, halimbawa, si .NET, nagbibigay siya ng mga weather forecast, weather information, weather data, or consumer data, consumer information. And then si consumer, siya yung humihingi ng mga data na yon para mapakita sa mga user niya. No? So, as long as they follow those examples kanina, halimbawa, kung ibibigay ni .NET ng naka-JSON format, and then naiintindihan ni consumer yung JSON format, even though naka-build siya using Java language, they can display that information sa application nila. As long as they follow the same protocols para hindi sila magkaroon ng problema while transferring the files, and then they have the same medium or they have the same network, magkikita sila, and then alam ni provider saan ibabalibag or saan ibibigay yung mga informations na yon. So that's the web service, kahit magkaiba sila ng tech stack. So after the web service, let's proceed with blockchain. So ano ba yung blockchain? Yung blockchain, it is a technology itself. So it is quite broad. So sasabihin na lang natin yung mga basic information, no? So yung blockchain, it is a distributed ledger. So it means gumagana siya sa distributed network. So it is a peer-to-peer network, and then kada person correspond to a specific nodes. So each block naman sa blockchain consists of 3 information. The first one is data. The second one is hash. The third one is the hash of previous block. So yung data, nandito yung kung ano mang klaseng blockchain meron tayo. Halimbawa, kung sa Bitcoin, yung data na nasa block ng isang Bitcoin is yung information about the owner, and then yung wallet niya, kung ilan yung Bitcoin na meron siya. And then itong hash naman to is for security features or yung mga naka-encrypt na data sa loob, no? So eto, kapag binago natin yung data sa loob ng isang block, magbabago rin yung hash niya. So it's quite complicated to hack. And last one, the hash of previous block. So ito yung nagiging reason kung ba't tumataas yung security ng isang blockchain. So let's try to look what a blockchain looks like. So kapag sinabing blockchain, it is a chain of blocks, no? As you can see, so we have block 1, block 2, and then block 3. So si block 3, it is connecting to block 2, and then si block 2 connected siya kay block 1. Ngayon, si block 1 wala namang nako-connect sa kanya na previous block, therefore tinatawag siyang genesis block, no? So ano yung ibig sabihin nito, or paano nagiging secured yung isang blockchain? So halimbawa, trinay natin i-edit or i-alter yung laman or yung data ni block number 2. So, since na-alter natin yung laman ng block number 2, magbabago ngayon yung hash niya. And then, since nagbago yung hash niya, yung previous hash natin sa block 3 will get or magkakaroon ng problema. So, since nagkaroon ng problema, kailangan rin natin baguhin yung previous hash ni block 3 and the following block and then the following block. So, ganun siya nagiging complicated or tumataas yung security. Ngayon, since sabi natin, blockchain is a distributed network, it means peer-to-peer yan. Or peer-to-peer. And then, each node has their own copy of transaction or has their own copy of this block. So, hindi pwedeng yung block lang na to yung i-edit natin. Kailangan i-edit rin natin yung copy ng lahat ng nodes sa isang blockchain network. So, halimbawa, kung 200 yung nodes na yon, kailangan i-edit mo lahat ng block or transaction dun sa 200 na yon, or at least 50%. Kasi dun na pumapasok yung consensus. Kasi kung hindi mo ma-reach yung 50%, the transaction will get invalidated. That's why meron tayong proof of work. No? So that's how it works. So medyo complicated yung blockchain. It's because it is a technology itself. Pero that's how it works. No? So let's proceed with the main topic of this video. So let's give a real life example of the application that uses web services and blockchain at the same time. So ang napili kong application is the Votes. So yung Votes, ito yung application na ginamit sa USA nung nag-election sila. So yung Votes, gumagamit po siya ng web services and blockchain at the same time. No? So ito yung simple or detailed step-by-step diagram ng Votes. No? So meron tayong user, and then si user, da-download niya yung mobile app ng Votes or ng web application ng Votes, and then tawag dito, boboto siya, and then yung boto niya will be saved on web services, and then during the sa loob ng web services, it will be encrypted or using encryption algorithm, and then after nun, ilalagay sila sa blockchain for security para hindi ma-alter yung vote ng user natin. So, madali lang siyang isipin, pero let's deep dive on what's the real process behind this logic. No? So, the first one or the step 1 is user interaction and registration. So, kailangan muna natin mag-register sa Votes. So, si user, ida-download niya yung Votes application, and then magre-register siya using biometrics and ID verification. So, this information will get saved into database. So, nakapag-register na si user, assuming nakapag-register na si user. So, after mag-register ni user, ngayon, magvo-vote na siya. Pero bago siya mag-vote, si application natin will get or magre-request siya ng HTTP request sa web service natin. So, hindi nakalagay kaagad yung data or yung balot sa application natin. Nire-request pa natin yun sa web service. And dun na pumapasok yung sinabi natin kanina sa web service. So, si web service, magre-response siya kay Votes. Magbibigay siya ng response. As long as naiintindihan ni Votes yung response na ibibigay ni web service, like yung file format, yung HTTP protocols niya, and then yung medium niya, kapag lahat ng yon na-satisfy, lilitaw na ngayon yung request natin or yung response ni web service sa application natin. And kapag lumitaw na, pwede na mag-vote si user. And after that, yung vote na yon will be sent back to web services, and then sa web services, the vote will get encrypted or magkakaroon na siya ng encryption algorithm based on the blockchain. Kasi nga, every block sa blockchain, meron tayong hash. No? So, after that, ilalagay na po siya sa blockchain. So, as we all know, tataas na yung security niya. It's because nasa blockchain na. So, paano tumataas yung security niya? Halimbawa, ako, tsaka yung friend ko na si John, is bumoto kami. Ngayon, of course, every position, meron akong block. Meron akong block for president, block for vice president, block for secretary, and so forth. Ngayon, yung kaibigan ko na si John, meron din siyang blockchain na gano'n. Meron siyang block for president, meron siyang block for vice president, and so forth. And then, meron din siyang copy nung vote ko. Or nakikita rin niya yon kasi naka-public yung blockchain. Or depende sa sa gumawa. Ngayon, since distributed ledger yon, kung meron mang hacker na gustong palitan yung vote ko, so kailangan niyang palitan yung vote ko, and then palitan niya yung remaining hash dun sa mga susunod na block, and then kailangan rin niyang palitan yung transaction history ko dun kay friend ko na si John. So, assuming merong bumoto na 200,000, sobrang dami nun. So, yun yung, dun tumataas yung security ng blockchain. It's not impossible, but it's nearly impossible na ma-edit mo lahat. No? And, yun nga, dun nga nagiging it's because anything or any data na nasa loob ng isang blockchain cannot be altered. doon pumapasok yung idea na yon kasi nga sobrang hirap i-alter ng data. So yun lang yung topic natin when it comes to web services and blockchain. I hope you learned something today and good day.